Honoring a fallen brother. Today, the body of New Haven police officer Joshua Castellano was killed in a crash last week in Las Vegas. He returned home to Connecticut, and fire departments lined highway overpasses as the procession made its way from Bradley International Airport to the New Haven Police Department. New Haven Bureau Chief MATTMCFARLAND live there with more on the legacy Castellano leaves behind. Matt.
Hey, Aaron, quite an emotional scene here at the police department for this procession for Officer Joshua Castellano. Not only did you have his brothers and sisters with the New Haven Police Department, but you also had a number of friends who grew up together. The roar of motorcycles and a flurry of flashing lights lead the way, escorting the body of New Haven Officer Joshua Castellano past the place he's called home for the last 7 years and his saluting co-workers.
Through these tears, it's hard not to smile, because every moment with Josh was filled with laughter and with joy.
For Wilbur Gonzalez, he and Castellano became friends 17 years ago when the two were in college. He now lives in Florida, but as soon as he got the devastating news, he took off for Connecticut to be there for his friend's family.
I took the first flight here to make sure that I could be supportive of Denise, you know? I mean, she needs us, and we were her kids too.
The 35-year-old Castellano, who is currently serving with New Haven's shooting task force, was killed last Friday out in Las Vegas after the car he was riding in with a group of officers crashed. Fellow officer Robert Ferrara, who police say was behind the wheel, is now charged with driving under the influence and reckless driving. For Castellano's co-workers and his friends, it's still hard to comprehend he's no longer here.
Josh was our brother. Everyone said it, his passion for life. Our life was better because he was in it.
Recalling an officer who grew up in New Haven and loved giving back to the city he called home.
He would send me videos of, hey, I stopped by, these kids are playing basketball, let's shoot some hoops with them, right? You want to talk about community outreach, you want to talk about leaving a standing memory of someone in uniform. He embodied everything there is to say about the New Haven Police Department.
And you can see the bunting that's still hanging outside the police department. Castellano's friends tell me that they plan to do something in the future to honor and celebrate his life. We're live with the mobile newsroom in New Haven. MATTMCFARLAND, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Matt, thank you. And a wake for Officer Joshua Castellano will take place this Thursday from 4 to 8 at the West Haven Funeral Home on Savin Avenue. His funeral is set for this Friday at 10 a.m. at St. Mary's Church on Hillhouse Avenue in New Haven. Burial will follow at Grove Street Cemetery.